what I'd like us to do, if you all stand, I'll tell you. If you all stand.
Yes, yes, you do.
We're going to be doing a formative experience, and it's called Whip Around. And here's how it works. I asked you to think about something, right? So the question, what does formative assessment mean to you? And what we want to find out is what we all collectively have a sense of about this. So in a moment, I'm going to ask someone to start and just start talking about what you wrote down. I'm going to try to capture a few things and type. If you have those same similar items, just cross them off. If we've exhausted your list, yes, you'll sit down. Okay? So that's how it will work. I don't know who would like to start in terms of, Mary's going to start?
Oh, I was
or you want to, no, it doesn't matter to me. Amanda can start.
I think you should go. Okay. I said it's kind of an immediate snapshot of the student's knowledge on a topic, whether it's written format, visual, or oral. Lets you know where they are and then where else you need to take them, whether it's remediation or enrichment.
Okay, so that immediate snapshot of student knowledge. Did you have anything else on your list? Nope. Okay, that was it. You can sit down, please. Thank you. I don't know who wants to go next.
Oh, we're going down the road? Okay.
Oh, well, I guess we're going to go round robin.
We're kind of ruining your thing there. I said that it's not usually used as a formal grade per se. It's not giving them a summary of their knowledge in grade form. It's just an informal.
And I'm going to put that in quotes.
Right.
One of the things that I'm going to talk about is tracking formative assessment as well, and talking about why we might want to do that. So we're going to work our way there to think about this not used as a grade. Okay. Now you'll notice from our whip around with these two, no, just look at what this did for us. I'm going to bring it to the meta level. And again, think about how this would be in a bigger class, right? By having us all stand and share knowledge, we now know that everyone, and maybe including Patty, we don't know yet, had these two ideas in common. So we know something about where our students are. And that's what makes this technique an interesting one. Patty, what else did you have about
I just said it's any tool to help students learn and direct instruction. So it's kind of the same thing, but a little more formalizing. Oh, we didn't formalize.
Did you say in or with?
To help students, I didn't say either one.
Okay.
Help students learn and direct instruction. It's a technique for gathering and giving feedback to students and also to the teacher.
Okay, Joe?
I feel like you could say all this, but we need to know when we're going to do the formative assessment.
Say this again?
Like, we need to know when.
Ah.
Because you could do a formative assessment, I don't know, at home. I mean, is it a formative assessment if we do it at home?
Interesting
Ooh,
question.
good
And again,
question.
you'll notice that when we were doing the stuff on the wall, I actually, although I said before the lesson, I didn't say what that meant, right? I didn't say, was that at home? Is there a way to do that at home? Versus, is that really before you teach a unit that you might do something to get a snapshot of our students' knowledge, right? And we're going to hopefully explore all of those kinds of things as we go. So this list gives us a chance. This list gives us a chance to kind of think about what our common knowledge is, and that was just called whip around. So it's a very simple technique. It starts with the question, your students write and reflect and think. They all stand up and they sit down as their lists get addressed by someone, if not themselves, all right? So it's an interesting way, and it can work in any subject area as well. So it gives us a snapshot, and this gives me a snapshot, so I'll know that there's some things to focus on as we go throughout. So let me come back to my, let me pass this out to you. So here we have.
Oh,
That's okay.
just like relaxing over here.
No. We'll be fine. Okay. Now, listen, we've give you sort of the concise, a concise definition. So this might respond to the idea and some of the things that we talked about, that truly one of the things they talk about is in order to do this, it needs to be planned. And you really need to think about it in a way so that you can take that snapshot that we were just talking about when we did the whip around. And so we want to kind of think about that. I'm going to eventually give you some tools to kind of add, because you've already been doing planning. It's not like you don't know how to plan, but just kind of thinking about where does it belong. And then just by our opening activity, there are different points in time, and maybe, as Joe might be alluding to, maybe we've missed, have we missed any points in time in terms of our continuum as we go? I like this one too. So if we look at the two definitions that are here, so the one prior, this one by Cobbin, and then this one by Willem. Oh, misspelled his name off. One L. I thought I caught all those.
I don't get this one.
Oh, okay. In what respect don't you get it?
It must be is.
Oh, wait, maybe
It is led.
It is led by teachers, but I.
Oh,
we
it
don't
probably
really-
is led, and that was me, and the spell checker. So let's fix what I love about PowerPoint, right? We can fix it on the fly, and I'll fix Dr. Willem's name. All right. Okay. That must make more sense. So now, is there still something, Patty, besides?
Led by teachers, I get that. Formative assessment is led by teachers with students. That's the part I'm kind of like.
Okay, let me do this, because he did not do, this one I do know I didn't make an error, but let me go ahead and put a pause.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yes, okay.
Thank you.
Okay. What I liked about this was this image that's formed in this, and I don't know how closely this mirrors your own idea of your classroom environment. Because what are some of the things you're hoping to achieve in your environment? So when the students come to you, what do you want the math period to be like?
I would like them working together, and I like that. We saw a video of this teacher on Friday. Would have liked it. But we can get it up for you. But she was, I mean, she put the problems up on the board, what they were gonna do. She explained how it was gonna be done, and most of the lesson the kids are looking.
Right.
And we're walking around, so that's what I would like to see, the kids engaged. I want
Okay.
to see the kids engaged. I don't want to be up there yelling at them to get their work done. I want them to enjoy learning. And I don't feel, I mean, some classes it happens, but I'm thinking of the high needs kids, it doesn't happen for me there.
Right.
So I want to see some changes there.
Right. Right. Informative assessment in part can help this, and then just looking at other teaching strategies as well as you continue to expand your repertoire. And I know for those of you that are new this year, there's a ton of different readings in the binder that might give you some additional ideas and things, as well as some of the things obviously you'll be having through the small meetings, and then when everyone gets together as we look at some things as well. Now, they talk about formative assessment as planned formative assessment and interactive formative assessment. All right? So I'm going to talk a little bit about both of those in a way so that we have a sense of, if this is my lesson, then where my planned formative assessment have occurred, and what the heck is this interactive formative assessment idea? So let's talk a little bit about interactive formative assessment. Now, by its term, it creates an image that may or may not be accurate. So what do you think this is? Like,
It is.
I'm saying
Wait,
white.
see, I knew I should have even waited longer to tell you.
Is that like your whiteboards, or having them go up and explain things, where they're actually doing it and then putting it
Right,
down.
we think about interactiveness as that engagement piece in our lessons, and the folks that created
It's
the,
on mine.
okay, it must be Ellen's. The folks that have been working on this terminology have looked at this a little bit differently, so let me talk about it. This is when you started your lesson. You may have planned certain formative things for that particular lesson, but all of a sudden, because of the responses, you realize you need something else. You need to get some information, and so on the fly, the moment is here. It's like a teachable moment, and you just improvise what you're going to do. You hadn't thought about doing it, but the moment makes it so clear that you should. And so it's going to happen and just be part of the flow. Again, we can make changes in our lessons anyway. We don't announce to the kids that we're making the switch. We just sort of do whatever we need to do based on their experiences. And we do that as we go. And so here are just a few. And again, some of these look like some of the things we put up that we talked about might be planned, but some of this may come, for example, you might realize that there is some confusion about something or disagreement in some way, and so all of a sudden you're pulling out from your own set of questioning to probe them, and you're doing it in the moment to get information, because you're asking yourself, oh no, can we move on where I thought we were going to move on in this lesson, or am I actually stopped here and have to really do a radical shift? And so in the moment you're doing that. And so this interactive happens on the fly. Okay? And to, like any teachable moment, take advantage of it, all right? Because you can't force these kinds of things as you go. So that's one kind. We're going to be mostly focusing today on planned formative assessment. And this is when we really start looking, and some of you do plan for some of the various things that you talked about here. You decided you're going to use whiteboards. You know the set of questions that you're hoping to ask. You've already decided the homework questions or what they're going to do. You've got that all part of your flow of your lesson, you know, approximately when it's supposed to happen in the lesson. So we're going to be talking about this planned formative assessment. I want us to try our hand at a little planned formative assessment. And I'm going to give you, let me decide which two here. Okay. You'll also get handouts later with all of the ones that I'm using and the ones that we won't get a chance to use as well. So what we're going to be using is something that in the trade, so to speak, the folks that write, they call these formative assessment classroom techniques facts. Okay. So I'm going to give you a fact strategy. I'm going to ask you to think about geometry since that's the focus. However, once you read through the materials, if you find that geometry ideas just aren't flowing as well as other math ideas, feel free to substitute something else. And then I'm going to ask us to share what some of the work was done in the group. So I'm going to start 2 of you on one of these and 3 of you on another one of these. And so when you get the handout, there will be an explanation about what the formative assessment task is. There might be a sample to kind of get your brain thinking about what it's like. And you can kind of skim. And what I'm hoping you will do is actually develop one that is associated with some geometry concept or set of concepts, and then we'll present this because this may be a new idea for most people, and I think these 2 are, because in part they didn't come up here. It doesn't mean you haven't used them, but you might surprise me in a moment, but they didn't come up when we at least did this opening piece. So Amanda and Jenny, I'm going to give you card sort. And Patty and Mary and Cho, I'm going to give you the Freyer model. So if you want to turn or move your chairs in such a way that you can talk with each other, do that so you feel comfortable.
Sorry. I'll be the one that makes people.
Oh, no, don't worry about, don't worry
I don't like
about.
that they're posted on
No,
there.
no, no, don't worry, you can take the, don't worry about the number, you can take the number off. I was developing a possible jigsaw scheme, but because we're so small, we probably won't use that. So I was prepared just in case.